Hey two-wheeled friends, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Shadow Day. I'm out here on the 2007 Honda Shadow Spirit VT750 C2 model. And at the time of recording this, I just wrapped up where to learn to ride a motorcycle video. And I found myself in another parking lot, and I thought, you know, I went over some of these controls and things in other videos before, but maybe we should just have a little bit of a review session of how to use the friction zone and like how to shift a motorcycle and things like that. Now you can go back and watch that previous video. I haven't rehearsed, I haven't watched that video probably since I made it, and I just wanted to kind of do something similar and help some of you that are new to the channel with learning to ride and learning the friction zone just a little bit. So let's roll the intro and then we'll get back to talking about some of this riding and practicing in a parking lot. Alright, so you're sitting in a parking lot, you got the motorcycle running, not a car in sight, and you're like, okay, well, first of all, you got this motorcycle in the parking lot, so I don't know if you had somebody ride it here for you and now you're going to practice, and that's okay to do too, because if you can't safely get it to where you're going to try to practice a little bit, then of course you want to have some help. And of course I always advise taking an appropriate safety course before doing any riding as well, and have the proper gear. Today I got gloves on, I got some jeans, got my helmet on, I got a couple flannels because it is 59 degrees out and it's kind of hot right here, it's out of the wind. But learning to ride a motorcycle can sometimes be a little bit scary. It's a little bit of like, can I do it? And should I do it? And am I going to get hurt? And all of this stuff that you're trying to kind of weigh out in your head. And it kind of gets in your head just a little bit. And yes, you can get hurt on a motorcycle, even in a parking lot. There's things that can happen. You know, you see some gravel here. You got these spots where they patched some holes. So anything can happen in those instances. You got poles, you got some little curbs with shrubs in between. And things can happen. A car could come out of nowhere, something could fall out of the sky in front of you, I mean, whatever it is. So it's a little bit of practice makes perfect type thing. The more you ride, the better this is going to get, okay? So the first thing with learning to ride is learning this friction zone, and by now you should know what the controls are, but all your shifting is done on the left hand side. All your braking is done on the right hand side with your acceleration, okay? This particular bike and a lot of other metric bikes, your blinkers are all on the left hand side here. So to turn right you got to push this, to turn left you got to push towards you or pull towards your hand, and then you got to cancel them too. So that's one thing to kind of always remember. But to start out, squeeze in that clutch, shift into first, down into first, you're in gear. So you saw me do this a little bit in that other video, but just get used to rocking. So all I'm doing is just slowly letting this clutch out until it grabs, until it engages. Now if I let all the way out, it's going to kill it. And I don't want to do that because I know I got a bad battery on this bike. I don't want to take a chance of getting stalled in this parking lot. But it'll almost go on its own with no, you know, no acceleration, no throttle. And you just practice and know where that lets out. Listen to the sound of the motorcycle. It almost starts to bog a little bit, which means you gotta give it a little bit of gas. So when you do that, see, now we're moving. So now you can just keep yourself in that friction zone and just walk the motorcycle. I got the clutch about halfway out, and actually I'm kind of on momentum right there. So let the clutch out, and you can just get used to walking. Just walking the motorcycle in and out, in, letting it out. See, I'm walking this motorcycle, this particular motorcycle, with no hand on the throttle, and this is almost too fast for me to walk. Okay, now you start incorporating, and I know I got a little bit of a bump there. So now you start incorporating letting this clutch out and giving it a little throttle. And if you feel more comfortable keeping your feet in this area for balance, that's fine. Okay, I'm going to turn around here. And we'll go back this way. Okay. So, letting out, walking. But now I want you to start practicing getting your feet, you know, both feet up. Now obviously I can't put both feet up when I'm stopped. But as you let go of this clutch and you start moving, put your feet up. Okay, let's stop. Okay. And I'm giving it front brake here so you can see the front kind of diving when I do that. So this is literally how slow you can go. Now normally I'd say keep your eyes up, head up as you're doing this. Don't be looking down, because if you're looking down you're going to go down. But I'm going to look down for the sake of trying to show you a couple things. Okay, so I'm going to let the clutch slowly out, and I'm going to start rolling on the acceleration just a little bit, and watch my feet. Okay, feet are up. And now, no clutch. This is all just my right hand. Now I don't recommend when you're new just riding with one hand. Keep both hands on, because if you want to go right, you can push right. You can get into the whole counter steering. Watch for debris. If you feel you are ever going too fast and you're getting yourself into trouble, like, oh, I'm gonna crash, reach in, pull that clutch in, and then use your brakes. Okay, roll off, put your foot up. See, I didn't have my, okay, here, I'll just show you this again. See, my right foot's up. It's actually currently on the brake. Okay, you're at a stoplight, pretend. So now all you gotta do is get your left foot up. You're already in gear, clutch is in. Let the clutch out, release the rear brake, let go of the clutch, you're rolling. Oh, I gotta stop. Okay, squeeze that clutch and just stop. Okay, I see so many videos where guys give it a little bit too much throttle, and look, I'm not even on the clutch right now. Okay, just don't grab that too much front brake, especially if you have the bars like this and you grab that front brake and you're going any significant speed, or the bike is too heavy for you. It's going to get you off balance, and you're going to be like, ah, no, I got to try to get this bike up, you know. So keep the handlebars as straight as you can when you stop. When you come to that complete stop, release, feet up, stop, left foot down, right foot on the rear brake. This is what you should be practicing once you learn to ride, is to be able to keep your right foot on. I see a lot of guys down, no foot on their brakes. I like to always keep my right foot on the brake, so the cars behind me know that I am stopped, and I'm watching them in my mirror too, so I know they see that I'm stopped. Okay. Okay, duck walk. Duck walk. I think that's what they call this. Duck walk. No throttle. Okay, give it a little bit of throttle. Feet up. Throttle's the clutch is all the way let go. Okay, now squeeze that clutch in. Pull up. Shift into second. So we're in second gear and just kind of cruising around this parking lot. Look where you want to go. Watch out for these big rocks. A lot of obstacles in this parking lot. I don't know why it's so dirty. Getting whistling, I'm sure, through the helmet here. Okay, second gear, clutch in, third gear, probably going a little slow for third. Okay, I need to downshift. You want to make sure your RPMs and your speed are matching your gear a little bit too. Otherwise you could lock up that rear. That will come at another time. Okay, I'm gonna rev match just a little bit, down in first, and we're gonna straighten out, and we're gonna stop. Okay, stopped again. Okay, see how I rolled back just a little bit? I'd let go of the rear brake because I'm on a little bit of a hill. So that's why you also want to practice that. So if you're at a stoplight, that's where sometimes you got to give it a little bit more gas and let go of that clutch and go, depending on how big a hill it is. You might stall it. I've stalled. Mrs. Two-Wheeled has stalled. It happens. If that's the case and the bike stalls and goes off, you just gotta basically pull in the clutch, restart it, or if you have to find neutral, restart it, and then shift and go. A lot of bikes will allow you to start it as long as the clutch lever is squeezed in. So I always recommend starting in neutral though. So I think this is a lot of what I kind of taught in one of my first videos I've made about learning to ride is friction zone. And like I said, you can go back and watch that. And I am definitely not a professional. I just want to see more people learning to ride. So you kind of hear how it, I probably let the clutch out a little quick. I mean, you can, there's a little bit, you kind of feel it grab, and it comes natural once you're doing this for a little while. See, I grabbed a little too much front brake right there, and you saw me kind of lean, and I had to put both feet down. That's what happens if you give too much front brake. Or can happen, I guess I should say. Sometimes it's worse. Shift. Accelerate, shift. Okay, got to slow down it. Downshift. Squeeze in that clutch. Down to first. And then when you're in that parking lot, you can familiarize yourself with looking where you want to go. Weave, learn to weave. Just take your time. Don't get frustrated. It can be frustrating sometimes. Maybe you keep stalling the bike. Don't let it get to you. Don't let it get in your head. And then you can start practicing like what I just did there. Kind of like, because this is like you're turning a corner, like you're turning to basically turn onto another street. That's kind of shifting 101, really. First gear, friction zone. Any of you who have been riding for any amount of time, leave some of your pointers down below if you feel that there's something else that needs to be added to basically how to get familiar with your motorcycle. And anytime you get a new motorcycle, a new 2U motorcycle, you should be practicing all of this stuff. Learn how you got to throttle and where you can let go. And learn that smoothness, because every motorcycle is a little different. Geez, I rode Mrs. Two-Wheeled's Heritage the other day. Hadn't ridden it for a few months at least, and that was a little bit different to shift for me compared to my Road King, compared to this bike, compared to the Fury. So it takes a little bit just to get used to it. But like I was saying, if you've been with the channel for any amount of time, you have some pointers to add in about the friction zone. Please leave your comments down below. If you are new to the channel, you're learning how to ride, ask your questions below. Check out the beginner series folder for more tips and tricks. Read the comments and learn what other people are doing and how they're learning to ride. And before you know it, you will almost learn how to ride motorcycle by watching YouTube. It's pretty much what I did. Shift, shift, shift. Okay, downshift. You probably see my right hand kind of twisting and giving it acceleration. That's so I can rev match. Downshift, blinker, and away you go. take her off. There you have it. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, go down, click the subscribe button, ring the bell so you're notified for future uploads and activities. And until next time, two-wheeled friends, peace out, ride safe, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.